Hey guys, so we are on our way to Nashville right now. This is part 2 of the Ancestry story where I'm actually going to meet my siblings tonight. I'm going to do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I don't want to like I said on the last video, I don't want to put like a camera in everybody's faces or have it following me around or anything like that. This is a very personal trip. And it just seems very impersonal to have my phone out the entire time. So as we go along, I'll sit there and talk about the experiences and what we're doing and things like that. I'm also probably going to turn this into a photo adventure because I did bring my stuff because it's going to be very hard to go on a vacation or a trip without my camera on me. So I'm going to go a little photo crazy while we're in Nashville. I have a couple ideas of places that I want to go to that I think are going to make some awesome photos. So be sure to check out that video too. But yeah, here we go. Hey guys, so now we are about 30 minutes away from meeting up with everybody. It's slowly hitting me more and more of what's going on. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm hoping, I just don't want to be the only blubbering mess. There's going to be 9 to 10 of us total. So not all siblings, just family members like wives and husbands and kids and things like that, and brothers and sisters, I think, because I know they have another brother, but I don't know who else is going to be there. But yeah, this is really happening, and I'm cool with it. I'm really cool with it. I'm nervous. After the initial meeting, I think I'll be perfectly fine. So we came for, right? Yeah. I just put on my makeup. I need to stop before I ruin it. Ugh, it doesn't even look like I'm wearing any makeup. Okay. Okay, it's about to happen. We're about to head out here in just a second. I just can't believe I'm about to meet siblings. This is weird. It's cool. It's awesome. A whole lifetime of knowing and not knowing and about to know. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so we met everybody tonight. I was not a slobbery mess like I thought I might have been. I guess maybe after talking to him for about 8 months or so, kind of makes it a little easier. But it was fun. We met at this little barbecue place and everybody was talking up a storm for hours. And then we went back to one of the half brothers' houses with him and his wife, and we sat there and we talked for a long time, and it's been a really long day. We had a 9-hour drive and then dinner, and then it's about midnight our time, so it's been about an 18-hour day for us. So Hope's brushing her teeth right now. She's gonna go to bed, and then tomorrow we are talking about going and seeing his grave, and I learned quite a bit that I'll probably be talking about here at the end of the video. So I don't know, it's been pretty cool. Everybody's been really cool, and now that the initial meeting's done, I feel a lot more relaxed because now there's no like nerves, I guess. It's more just, okay, I'm excited to hang out with everybody and learn more. So, all right, catch up again tomorrow. Hey guys, so we did the grave. I did get emotional. I was trying not to because it's got to be kind of weird to see somebody crying over your dad. I know technically he's my biological father. I've never met him or anything. It was just that final closure of like knowing that he's there kind of thing, and just actually finding him. That was like a lifetime goal, and it happened. So I feel so much better. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, my stomach was in knots before meeting them, and I felt better after I met them, and then my stomach was in knots today until we did the gravesite, and then to actually see it, his name written out and everything, it was a closure. It was nice. It was nice. And now I'm excited because now we get to enjoy the rest of our trip and see everything and ignore the kid that's being crazy in my back view here. Yeah, now everything's less tense. She's in a goofy mood. Hey guys, so I'm finally home alone and I'm able to like close off this video. by just kind of talking about the experience, I guess. As I said, everybody was super nice. Everything went really, really good. We found out a couple things just from talking and everything. Backstory is my mom met this guy in a bar, and he was a musician, and she met him through friends that were in a band, and he was just a friend that would come up every once in a while, and he would sing at different bars and stuff off and on, but he was really just somebody kind of hanging out. He just, twiddled on the guitar a little bit. And she said that one day she found out he was married, and she broke it off because she didn't want to be another, like the other woman kind of thing. And she said that through talking, or I guess the person that she found out from, or maybe he even told her, I don't really remember, that he had two boys who were back at home with his wife in Ogden, Utah. So I assumed that the two boys were the two brothers that I found, because I found two brothers and a sister, and I just assumed that was them all, until I found out that they were not the same family. Their mother and them never lived in Ogden, Utah, and in fact he actually abandoned them years before he even met my mother. In fact, it was probably about 8 years before he met my mother. So it wasn't just a couple years off or anything. It was a huge gap where he had just disappeared from their lives. He got out of the military, and then they didn't really see him anymore until they were teenagers, when somebody told them where he was, and then that's when they saw him again. But so there are possibly two other siblings out there. And I actually wrote a woman before I wrote the half-sister, who I didn't know was my half-sister at the time. When I wrote her, I thought she was just going to be a cousin or something, but I did write other people, and I did write this one woman whose name matched a wife to somebody that had his same name. So she was a woman that was married to a Joseph David Fulton in Ogden, Utah, which I figured, what are the chances that, somebody would be married to somebody with that same exact name? Like, what are the chances two people in the world are married to each other and also married to somebody else with the same names, kind of thing? It just seemed kind of off. So I wrote her. So it had been about a year and I hadn't heard anything. Well, after this trip, I asked the siblings, I let them know I did find somebody that could know where he was during that time frame, and would they have a problem if I contacted them? And the two that I hung out with and talked to and stuff, they're as curious as I am, as like the time gaps in his life and things. So they were all about it, which was awesome. So I actually just got a message, because I had to write somebody else that she was closely related to, because when you send somebody a message on Facebook, it goes straight to their message request. So I actually found it's very similar to the story with the half-sister, where somebody she may know, and then I found him on Facebook, and then when I found him on Facebook, he had a business on Facebook, so I was able to write his business, and he was able to see that right away. Because if you write somebody's business page, they'll get a notification for that right away. But if you write their personal page, it'll go in their message request on Facebook. It's kind of odd, but that's the way it works. So that's why I wrote him. He actually just wrote me back, said that she is actually on vacation right now, but he's definitely going to let her know whenever she comes back, and he's pretty sure she'll have no problem writing back to me and letting me know if it's the correct link and all that stuff. So we may have found a link in the gap, which is kind of cool. At this point, it's just more of I'm curious about his life. I found out that he loved to bowl. I found out that he went to Japan when he was in the Marine Corps. In fact, after him and his first wife got divorced or separated, he was put in Japan, and he was apparently such a good bowler that he had a chance to do trials to be a professional bowler. He loved poker, and he liked online gambling, and he loved the computer, and he loved music, which was something I already knew. And he did wander around a lot and got married a few more times, and there's a kind of a big mystery when it comes to his side of the family. Which, like I said in the last video, there was already like rumors that I saw online on different heritage websites and stuff like that, that, you know, it could have been because he was a result of, if he's the right one that I'm thinking of on the timelines that I've looked, because I found a lot of family drama on both sides when I open up that can of worms. And it's interesting because as kids you don't think about this stuff. Like I used to think to myself, oh, he just passed away. Like the authorities actually did think he passed away when my mom tried to find him. So I didn't think that he was around, but to find out that he lived this entire life up until 2010 was kind of cool. And then on my mom's side, out through Ancestry, I found out other things as well. I found a ton of pictures on there on my mom's side of the family, which I loved, including one that kind of creeped me out because it looked like me as a kid in the 1800s. It was bizarre, but it was really cool to see that I looked like my grandmother's mother when she was a kid. Um, Parker's side has got really strong family genes. And but no, it's really cool. And then when I met my siblings, I was, you know, I saw pictures of them and I was like, well, you know, they look like me, but like more ethnic than me in some ways. And I actually found out that I'm probably gonna butcher this, but because I learned so much stuff, it's not like I wrote it all down. So, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's their great grandfather was Cuban and their great grandmother was Native American, which explained a lot. I was like, oh, that explains why we all look alike still, but you know, there's a little bit of difference, and I thought that was really cool. Um, I don't know. It's cool to see like I know in the grand scheme of things, like all humans are like connected kind of thing. But here I am. I hit it off great with these people. We all got along great. Our families had a blast together. We had so much fun. Her husband looks like Colin when he when he has a beard and a mustache. It's so funny. And then the half brother wears Hawaiian shirts all the time, which if you know my husband, our closet is like Hawaiian shirt central. And he would have been wearing Hawaiian shirts on our trip had the dry cleaners not messed up and washed the shirts, which they weren't supposed to, because then a lot of them shrunk, so he wasn't able to take them on the trip. But anytime we go on vacation, Colin is in a Hawaiian shirt almost every time, unless it's Disney World, then it's Disney themed because, you know, it's Disney World and that's Colin and that's what he does. That's what we all do because it's Colin and we're his family and that's what we do. But I don't know. It was such a good experience, and it's so cool. Like already, like the next day, we were like, okay, so when are we planning our next trip? Because we all had a lot of fun together, and we had a blast talking and getting to know each other. And I'm excited because one of the half brothers is actually going to be coming through here in February, and we're going to meet up then. And so it's really cool to see how well everybody got along together. And you know what? He wasn't the best man from what I understand. It's not that he was, I haven't heard anything about him being violent or anything crazy like that. Not yet, at least. I mean, there's no telling what stories may be out there that maybe they haven't told me yet. But he just wasn't a very responsible man when it came to pretty much he would go from place to place and, you know, there were different women. There's even a story that went around when my mom left Boise, Idaho, that he got another woman named Lois pregnant at the same time who lived in Boise. And Lois was not the name of his wife. So there's that link as well. And they weren't sure if it was true or not because they, you know, there were rumors going around everywhere. And so it's like he would love them and leave them, but he would leave them with a little present. A lot of times it was a baby or 3 in one case that I know of. So it's sad to think that somebody could do that. But I honestly think, given how irresponsible some of the actions have been that I've seen, mostly being having kids and just like leaving them as if there was no qualm kind of thing about any responsibility with it. I think we were all kind of better off not having him around. Not saying he was a bad guy, by any means, and but just somebody who would just want to come around and not actually be like a permanent father figure. It's kind of sad that he didn't long for that connection. I know he tried with the three kids. Like when he would come back from Japan, he'd bring them presents and things like that. But I know he went years and years without seeing them. And as a parent, I find that very hard to, I have a hard time. Like when Colin and I went on our honeymoon for a week. I mean, that was hard. Usually Hope's like with us everywhere we go. And, it's usually the three of us together doing everything. So, I guess for me, it just feels weird that somebody could do that. Or not weird, just irresponsible, I guess, that somebody could do that. And maybe he thought he was doing the best thing for us. Maybe he wasn't in the right state of mind to be a father at the time. I mean, there's no telling. But this whole experience has been amazing with Ancestry because I was able to find a lot of family, a lot of links, a lot of hints that led me in the direction that I needed to be in. A lot of information such as date of birth, death, gravesite, just all kinds of stuff. Once I had a name, I'm able to look it up on Ancestry and find it. And so this has been a really good experience. And I'm thinking about possibly, even one of the siblings had mentioned it, doing 23andMe. I'm curious to see if anything pops up on there. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. I mean, right now I could be fine the rest of my life just knowing the things that I do know, because it is tons more information than I ever knew, because all I had before was a name and it wasn't even his first name. I knew him as Dave Fulton because that's what my mom knew him as, but it turned out his name was Joseph David Fulton. And he had a whole bunch of lives when he was alive. So I don't know. It's kind of cool to kind of just want to know more about him. But if I don't know more about him, I'm fine with that too. It's kind of cool to have some answers at the end of all this. So I thank everybody for just watching me rant. I know it was no like behind the scenes of me meeting the siblings or anything like that. But like I said, I didn't want to put a camera in anybody's face. And it's just one of those things that I wanted this to be more of talking about my experience so that those who may be looking to do an ancestry test, or those wanting to know more about their parents biologically, if they don't know one of their biological parents, I do recommend doing it. I have a huge weight off my shoulders. My whole life has been a huge question mark. Like on my mom's side, I knew a lot about that, but the other side was a huge question mark. And now I don't really, I mean, I have a couple questions, but not like I used to. Who was he? What did he look like? Those were two big ones, that I really wanted to know my whole life. And I have pictures and I have stories and I have somewhat of a timeline of his life. So it's kind of cool to know it. But for those that may be doing this based off these videos, which I don't think many people will be watching these, but if you do for some reason decide to find a biological parent and they're alive, I cannot tell you how that experience would have been, because I did not get to have that. So just giving you a heads up, sometimes you never know what you're going to find, and you may not like what you found, or you may find them living and then you have to confront that whole thing. So good luck to anybody who's out there looking, and thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing a lot more here as the year goes on. So have a great day, guys, and thank you again for watching my story on my experience with Ancestry.com.